Hello everyone. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn how to create a professional looking presentation in Microsoft PowerPoint 2016. Since we have a lot to do, so let's get started. So first of all, we want to define a master layout for all these slides. So to do that, we need to go to our view tab, that is here, click on it. Now you can see under master views group, there is an option of slide master. Just click on it. When you click on it, you can see on the thumbnail views, there are different layouts. Now we can define a specific formatting for all these slides layout. And the first thing that we are going to define is for this slide layout, which is title layout. Now let's say we want to make our title bold. So we have to select this title. Then we can go to our home tab. Then in home tab under font group, we have to click on bold. We can also make it bold by pressing Ctrl B. If we want to undo it, we can hit Ctrl and Z key combination together. And then we can press Ctrl B. And this will do the same work. Now let's say we also want to add an underline over here. So again we need to select this title. After selecting the title, we can go to our home tab. Then under font group, we can click on this underline button. If we don't want to click on this underline button, we can also use Ctrl and U key combination, and this will add an underline below this title. Now we can go to our next slide layout, which is content and title, or you can say title and content. Now here we also want to make this title bold. So first of all, we need to select this title. After selecting this title, we can go to our home tab. Then under font group, we need to click on bold. Next thing that we want to do is we also want to put an underline over here. So we can just press Ctrl and U key combination together, and you can see an underline below this title. Next thing that we want to do is we want to make all these contents, these bullet points, italic. So how we can do that? We need to select all these things. Then we can go to our home tab. Then under font group, we can click on italic. Or if you don't want to do that, we can press Ctrl and I key combination together, and this will make it italic. Now, if we want to change the alignment of this title, we can also do that. We just have to go to our home tab. Then under paragraph group, we can click on left alignment, center alignment, middle alignment, or justify alignment. But let's say in this case we want to use center alignment, so we can click on here. Okay. Now let's say we also want to change bullet type. Then how we can change bullet type? To do that, we need to select all these bullets. After selecting these bullets, we can go to our home tab. Then under paragraph group, we can see bullets. These are unnumbered bullets and these are numbered bullets. Since we want to put unnumbered bullets over here, so we need to click on this drop down. Once we click on drop down, we can see different types of bullets over here. If we want to use this bullet, we can click on it. If we want to use this bullet, we can click on it. If we want to use this bullet, we can click on it. Similarly, we can click on any of these bullets. And let's say in this case, we want to use these bullets, so we can click on here. Okay. Now that we have defined our bullets, we can close our slide master view. So we can go to our slide master tab, and then we can click on this close master view button. So just click on it. Now you can see we are provided with a title slide layout. Now what we are going to do is we are going to type in our title, which is, let's say, how to become a good student. And now we can type in our subtitle. So we need to click on this placeholder, and now we are going to define our title. And let's say our subtitle is tips and tricks. So we can type in here tips and tricks. And let's say we want to change the alignment. So just select this text, go to your home tab, then under paragraph group, click on right alignment. Okay. Now I think it is not looking better, so we can make it in the center. I think this one is perfect. We can just do this. Okay. I think it is not looking perfect. We can keep it in the center. So again click on the center. Okay, just press backspace and now it is in the center. Alright, so now that we have defined our title and subtitle, so after this we need to add a new slide to this presentation. And actually there are three ways to add a new slide to a presentation. One way is we can go to our home tab, then under slides group we can click on this new slide button. So click on it and you can see a new slide under this title slide. If you want to remove it, we can hit delete and it will be removed. Just select this slide and click on remove and you can see this slide is gone from here. Another way to add a slide is just select this last slide after which you want to add a new slide, then right click on it and from the given options click on new slide and a new slide will be added. As you can see over here, this is a new slide. We can also undo it just by pressing Ctrl Z, or we can go to quick access toolbar and we can click on undo and this slide will be gone from here. Another way to add a new slide is we can hit Ctrl M, but we are going to use this one. So this is our new slide. Now here, first of all we need to define a title. So we are going to type our title over here. So click on it and type in important tips. Now that we have defined our title, we can define the text over here. And the points that we are going to put here will be in bullet form. So we need to click on here and these texts will be gone from here. So click on it and as you can see, text are gone from here. Now we can type in our first point, which is be regular. So we can type in here be regular, hit enter and now we can type in our next point, which is obey your teachers. Our next point or our next important tips is going to be stick to your timetable. So we can type in here stick to your timetable like this. Now we can add our fourth point and this fourth point is going to be give time to each subject. So give time to each subject is our fourth point. Now we are going to put our last point and this last point is very important tips. So we can type in here discuss with your teacher. Okay, and you can notice that this title is bold, there is an underline and these texts that are in bullet form are italic. That is because we defined it in our master slide view. Okay, after this we are going to add another slide. So just right click on it, click on this new slide option and a new slide will be added. Now here we are going to define our next title, which is case study. So we have to just click on this placeholder and then we can type in case study of a student. This is our next title. Then let's say we want to put here a table. Then how we can do that? First of all, we need to click on this table button that is here, this icon, or we can go to our insert tab and from here we can insert a table. But let's say we want to use this icon, so just click on it. Now we need to define how many columns do we want and how many rows do we want. Let's say we want 2 rows and 7 columns. So we can increase number of columns from here and we can decrease number of columns from here. Since we want 7 columns, so we can make it 7. Once we define our columns and rows, we can click on this OK button. And you can see we got a table over here and this table has 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 columns. Now we can enter our data into this table and first of all we are going to define labels over here and these labels are subject. So we can type in here subject, again type in subject and let's say we want to put in here marks of each subject, marks. Okay, so now we are going to put in here subject names and the first subject is Hindi. Then we can type in English. So English. Now our next subject is maths. So we can type in maths. Now we need to type in science. So science. Our next subject is social studies. So social studies. And then our last subject is computer. Now we can enter marks of each of these subjects over here. Okay, so let's say the student got marks in Hindi 78, in English 81, in maths let's say 90, in science 70, in social studies 83, and in computer let's say 86. So these are different subjects and these are marks scored in each subject. Now let's say we want to put all these text and these marks in the center of this cell. So we need to select all of this table and then we can go to our home tab. Then under paragraph group we can click on this center alignment and you can see we can just make all of these in the center. Just select and do this. If you want to make all of these text and numbers in the center in one time, you just need to select the table, or we can just select the table like this, and then we can go to our home tab. Then under paragraph group we can click on center alignment and you can see all these text are in the center. Similarly, we can select all these marks in here. So just select all of these marks like this and click on center. Okay, so now it is looking perfect. Let's say we also want to make these text bold. So select it and hit Ctrl B together. Again Ctrl B. Now it is perfect. The next thing that we can add to our presentation to make it look professional is charts. So how we can insert a chart? To insert a chart, we need to go to our insert tab. Then under illustrations group, you can see there is an option of chart. Now since we want to insert a chart, so we have to click on this option. And now you can see insert chart dialog box will pop up. Now from here, we can choose any category like column, line, pie, bar, area, XY scatter. So there are many more. But let's say we want to insert just a simple chart that is known as clustered column chart. So we need to select this one and then we can click on OK. When we click on OK, we have to wait for a few seconds, and after this we will see an Excel table over here and a chart over here. So you can see we got an Excel table. Here we can enter our data and then we got our chart over here. So now since we have to enter our data over here, so we are going to change it. First thing that we can enter here is known as subject. So we can type in here subject. Then our first subject is going to be Hindi. Our next subject is going to be English, maths, then science. So we can type in science. Social, that means social studies. So we can type in social studies, and then our last title can be computer. So we can type in here computer. Once we defined our subject, now we can type in our marks. So we can change this data to marks, and let's say we have already entered our marks in the table. So we can type the same marks over here, 78, then 81, then 90, 70, 83, and finally 86. Okay. Once we entered our data, we can remove this data because we don't want this data. So just select this data and then from the keyboard press delete, and this data will be gone from here. Now we can decrease the size of this table since we don't want this table. So just bring this selection to here. Now we can hit outside of this table this Excel sheet, and this Excel sheet We can close it. Now you can see this is our chart. Now we need to increase or decrease this chart because this chart is not fitting on this slide. So how we can increase or decrease the size of a chart? First of all, we need to select the chart. So click on it. Once the chart is selected, we can bring our mouse pointer over this corner, this corner, this corner, or this corner. So click on this corner and then drag it like this. And we can decrease the size of this chart. Now, sometimes we also need to move our chart. So we can move this chart just by clicking on here and holding down our mouse button. And we can place it here. Now let's say we also want to increase the size horizontally. So we can click on here and drag it like this. Okay. So this is how we can enter a chart. We can also change the type of chart, but right now we are not going to do that. And you can see each of these bars are displayed with different color which represents a particular subject. Like Hindi is represented with this blue color, English is represented with this color, Maths with this color, Science with this color, Social Studies with this light blue color, and then Computer with this green color. So we can identify the student scored highest score in this subject, Maths. And as you can see over here, his score in Math is 90, which is highest in all these subjects. So this is the graphical representation of this data and it is very helpful. Now let's say we also want to add some type of chart title. So we have to click on here and then we can select this chart title and here we can type in marks in all subjects. So this is the title and then we can click outside of this title area and you can see this is the title of this chart. So this is how we can define the title of a chart. Now if we want to make some other changes, we can go to these tools and from here we can make these changes. Now let's say we want to change the style of this chart. Then how we can change the style of this chart? We need to click on this button that we have on the right hand side of this chart. So click on it. Now on the left hand side of this chart, we can see different styles of this chart. So if we want to use this chart style, we can click on it, or if we want to use this chart style, then we can click on it. Similarly, there are some other styles and we can choose any style from here. Okay, but we don't want to make any changes to this chart, so we can again click on this chart style button. Okay, now we can also change chart style from here, from this contextual tab, and we can see chart styles over here. So click on this drop down and from here we can change chart styles. Okay, so there are two ways to change chart style. Next thing that we can add to our presentation to make it look even more professional is known as shape. So let's say we want to add an arrow shape over here and we also want to add a text box over here. Then how we can do that? To do that, we need to go to our insert tab, which is here. Just click on it. Then under illustrations group, click on shapes. Now here we can see different types of shapes like line shape, rectangle shape, basic shapes, block arrow shapes, equation shapes, etc. But since we want to use an arrow shape, so we can click on here. Now we can click here, hold mouse button and drag it like this. Now we need to draw our text box over here. To draw a text box, we need to go to our insert shapes group and then we can click on text box. Now you can see our mouse pointer turns like this. Now we can draw our text box like this. Since this is too big, we can decrease its size by just clicking on these nodes and dragging these. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Now we can type in the text inside of this text box. And the text that we want to type in here are highest marks. So we can type in here highest marks. Okay. Now since the text box is too large, so we can decrease its size and then we can click outside of it. Okay. And if the position is not correct, then we can click and drag it like this. Okay. So now it looks perfect. Okay. So this is how we can add a shape in fact any shape, and we can add a text box to our presentation. Another thing that we can add to our presentation is known as icon. So how we can insert an icon to our presentation? First of all, we have to decide where we want to put our icon, and let's say we want to put our icon over here, and that icon should reflect all these ideas or important tips. After selecting the slide, we need to go to our insert tab, then under illustrations group we can click on icons. When we click on icons, insert icons dialog box will pop up. Now from here we can choose category like people, technology, communication, business, analytics, commerce, education. Since we want to insert an icon that is related to education, so we can click on here. Now you can see there are some icons related to education, and let's say we want to insert this one. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to select this icon. Once we select this icon, we can see a tick mark over here. After selecting this icon, we need to click on this insert button. Okay, now you can see a small icon over here. We can also increase the size of this icon, and we have to repeat the same process. We just have to click on a node and then we can drag it like this. Okay, we can also define the position of a icon. So to move its position, we just have to click on it, hold down mouse button and move it like this. Okay, so this is how we can change the position of an icon. And let's say we want to increase a little bit, so increase it like this. So this is the icon that we want to insert here. Okay, now on the right hand side we can see some design ideas like this one, and these are very cool effects. Okay, so we can see so many effects over here, but we don't want to use it, so we can undo it just by pressing Ctrl and Z key combination. Okay, now we can close this. Next thing that plays a very important role in our presentation is called transition effect. With the help of transition effects, we can define how our slides should appear on the screen one after the other. So if we want to apply transition effect, first of all we need to go to our transitions tab, that is here, click on it. Now under transition to this slide, we can see different effects over here. If we want to scroll down, we can click on this button. If we want to scroll up, we can click on this button. Okay, and if we want to see all these effects in one time, we can click on this more button. Repeat, we can click on this more button. And here we can see three main categories of these effects: subtle category, exciting category and dynamic content category. And let's say we want to use, let's say this one, wind. We want to use this effect. So what we need to do now, we just need to click on this effect, and this effect will be applied to this slide. Okay, we can start from here. Again, just click on this more button and select wind. If we want to apply this effect to all slides, we can click on apply to all, and you can see star sign on all these slides. That means this effect is applied to all these slides. So this is how we can apply transition effect to these slides, and I will show you in a second how these transition effects look like. So if we want to see how our slide presentation is going to look like, we just need to click on this slideshow button in the quick access toolbar. So since we want to start from beginning, so we can click on here. Once we click on here, we can see our slide presentation. Okay, so this is how our presentation is going to look like. Next thing that makes our presentation look even more professional is animations. These animations have very powerful impact on our audience, and these animations are used to animate text or objects. These are not used for slides. Okay, now let's say we want to add some animation effects to these bullet points. Since we want to explain each point one by one, so we want to display all these points one by one after a few seconds. So how we can add animation effects to these points? First of all, we need to select a point, let's say this one. Once we selected our point, we can go to our animations tab. Then under animation group, we need to click on this more button, and we can see all these effects over here. Now let's say we want to see our point just like zoom in. So we can use this effect, click on it, and you can see how this is coming out of here. Okay. Similarly, we want to add this effect over here. So we need to select it, go to this effect and click on zoom. Again select this one, go to your animation group, click on more and select zoom. Again select this one, fourth point, go to animation group, in animations tab, click on more and select zoom. Now our final point, select this one, go to animations tab, under animation group, click on more and select zoom. So you can see we have numbers over here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are number of effects. So first effect is applied to this one, second to this one, third to this one, fourth to this one and fifth to this one. So if we will see our presentation, this will be our first effect, this will be second, third, fourth and fifth. This will be the sequence of these effects. Okay. Now let's see preview how these effects are going to look like, how these animations are going to impact our audience. Now let's see how these animation effects are going to look like and how they are going to impact our audience. To see that, we need to go to our preview group in animations tab and we need to click on preview button. And we can see how these animation effects are going to look like. Okay. Now let's say we want to define the delay time, since some are appearing very fast and some are appearing very slow. So to do that, we need to select all these like this. Again select. Once we selected all these bullet points, we can go to our animations tab, then under timing group we can define the delay, and let's say we want 2 seconds delay. Now again we can go to our preview tab and we can click on this preview button, and you will see time interval between each of these points will be 2 seconds. So our first point will appear after 2 seconds, our next point will also appear after 2 seconds, our next point will also appear after 2 seconds, and so forth and so on. So this is how we can apply animation effects to our text. If we have any object like we have an icon, we can also apply animations effect over here. But we don't want to do that. Sometimes we want to add some notes to a specific slide in a presentation. Then how we can add notes to a presentation? Let's say we want to add some notes to this slide. Then how we can do that? First of all, we need to click on this notes button in the taskbar and we can see a notes pane over here. Now we can start typing our notes. And let's say our notes are, we can type in, hello everyone, welcome to Microsoft PowerPoint 2016, create professional presentation, and then we can click outside of it. So this is how we can add notes to a specific slide in a presentation. Now these notes can be used to prepare speech, add some extra facts, highlight some points, etc. These notes will not be visible to public, but these notes will be visible to the speaker. So we don't have to worry about that. Now we need to give a final touch to our presentation, and that is by giving a background color. One thing you have to always keep in mind that we should not give bright color to the presentation, because this makes it difficult to read the text written on the slide. So we will always use light color. So just right click on the blank area of this slide and then choose format background. Click on it and then format background dialog box will pop up. Okay. Now from here we can see different options for filling like solid fill, gradient fill, picture or texture fill, pattern fill, or even we can hide background graphics. But since we don't want to hide background graphics and let's say we want to use solid color, so we are going to use solid fill. We have to select this one. Now from here we can click on this bucket and from here we can choose a light color, and let's say we want to use this one. Click on it. This is a light color. To make this presentation professional, we can apply this color to all the slides. So to do that, we need to click on this apply to all button on the bottom. Once we click on this bottom button, apply to all, this background color will be applied to all these slides, and we can see the color over here. So now our slides are uniform, effective and professional. But if we don't want to use solid fill color, we can also use gradient fill, and this is also very wonderful. Let's say we want to use this type of color. We can increase or decrease transparency from here. Just click on this spinner and it will increase or decrease the transparency. We can change the position from here. So if we want to change the position, we can click on here and you can see the changes on the slide. Okay. We can also change the positions from here. Some gradient stops are here like this. Okay. So we have various options to change the background, and I think this one is perfect. So we can just click on apply to all. Just click on it and you can see this background color is applied to all these slides. But if you want to keep the previous background, you can also do that. So just you have to press Ctrl and Z key combination together and you can see this background is here. Okay. But if you want to bring this color back, you have to press Ctrl and Y key combination together to redo it. And you can see this background color is applied to all these slides. Now we can close this format background tab from here. Now let's see how our final presentation is going to look like. And to see the presentation, we have to go to our slideshow tab, click on it. Now under start slideshow group, we can see two main options, from beginning and from current slide. If we want to start our presentation from beginning, means from first slide, we have to choose this option. But let's say we are on this slide and we want to start our presentation from this slide. Then we can click on this from current slide button. But since we want to start our presentation from first slide, so we can click on from beginning. Just click on it and you can see the presentation. Just hit escape key from the keyboard. Okay, so this is how we can design a professional looking presentation in Microsoft PowerPoint 2016. Alright, so this tutorial concludes here. I hope it was helpful for you. Thanks for watching.